The first exercise in this lower body weight conditioning sequence is a simple box squat. And a box squat is a very simple and effective way for teaching you how to use your hips properly, learning how to sit back and down. And this is going to enable you to learn how to do some of the more advanced squat variations as we progress in this sequence. To do the box squat, you're going to stand in front of a box or a chair with your toes pointing forward, and you're going to learn to hinge back with your hips. So you're going to sit back, sitting on top of the box, and then you're going to press through your heels and standing straight up. So it's inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. At this point, all of your weight should be off of the knees, and all of your weight sits back onto your hips. And exhale. Inhale, exhale. As you get stronger and more effective with this exercise, you would simply use a shorter box to increase the range of motion. And that's the box squat. The next exercise is called a rocking box squat. And just as you did with the previous exercise, you're going to stand in front of the box. However, this time you're going to rock back so that your feet literally come up off the ground. So you sit back, and then you're going to rock back with your feet off the ground, and then you're going to stand up. Now, one word of caution here, you have to keep your abdominals engaged. If I do not keep my abdominals tight, then as I rock back, I can fall all the way back and hurt myself. So instead of letting yourself fall back, keep your abdominals tight in order to maintain balance. And then stand up. So rock and stand. Rock back, inhale, exhale, stand. So that's the rocking box squat. This next exercise is called the Hindu squat. And this is a tremendous conditioner for cardiovascular strength as well as developing endurance in the legs. This is an old wrestling technique from Indian wrestling. And oftentimes this is done for hundreds and hundreds of repetitions in a row as your conditioning gets better. As you come down, you're going to inhale and raise up onto the balls of the feet. And then you're going to exhale coming back up. So you're going to inhale and you're going to exhale. I'll show you from the lateral angle. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now this can also be done in conjunction with the hands like a rowing motion, as if you're rowing a boat. So as you inhale, your hands draw in and scoop down behind you. And as you exhale, they come back up. So it's inhale, exhale. Just like you're rowing. Notice that my body stays upright as I do this Hindu squat. That's the Hindu squat. Now we're going to do the jumping Hindu squat. Before you attempt this, make sure that you're very comfortable with your balance with the regular Hindu squat, because this is going to put a lot more stress on your legs, and it's also going to require a greater balance component. It's the same basic position as the Hindu squat, but then as you come up, your feet leave the air. So you're coming down, jump up. Coming down, jump up. Okay? Same thing in the side. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay? And now we can add the hands just as we did with the regular Hindu squat. So it comes down, jump up. That's the jumping Hindu squat. Now we have the off-kilter squat, also called the seesaw squat. And this is training your legs with uneven loads, meaning you're going to have more weight on one leg than the other. You take a small box, or a staircase is actually optimal height, where you put your foot on the first or second stair, and then most of your weight is going to be on this leg. So this is a precursor to what we're going to do later with the one-legged squat. You're going to squat down and come up. Squat down and come up. Inhale, exhale. From the side view, it's very important to keep in mind that you don't want to put your knees forward here. You want to sit your hips back. So sit down and up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. That's the off-kilter or seesaw squat. Now we're going to do the shifting squat. And the shifting squat is also going to be an uneven squat where you're putting more weight on one leg than the other. And this is exceptional for loosening up the muscles of the hips and the side of your gluteal medius, which is the side of your butt. And it's also going to help prepare your body for what comes later when we do the low lunging or lateral lunging squats. Your feet are a little bit wider than normal, about twice shoulder wide. And for most of you, you're going to need to turn your toes out slightly to allow more space in the hips. If you try to keep your toes forward, a lot of times what will happen is your hips become bound and you feel like you're stuck. So by turning your feet out, it opens your hips, gives you a little more space. You're going to sit straight down, squatting. Now you're going to shift to one side and come up. Return to center, squat down, shift to the other side, and come up. Return to center. Squat down, shift, and push. Return center, squat down, shift, and push. Same thing from the lateral angle here. Squat down, shift, come up. Return center, squat down, shift, come up. Return center, down, shift, up, center. Down, shift, up, center. That's the lateral shifting squat. The next lower body weight conditioning exercise is called the plie squat. And this is a squat that is favored by certain dancers, especially in ballet. This is an excellent way for strengthening and toning the inner thigh and increasing the flexibility of your groin as well as the hips. This is done with a very wide position, so the toes are pointing almost completely to the side. Your knees should track over the toes. In other words, you don't want your knee to buckle inward. You want to keep your knees pressed out, and then just have your hands right in front of you. You're going to come straight down, and your knees point out to the side, and then you're going to come straight up. So inhale down, pushing the knees to the side. Exhale, pull from the inner thighs like a scissors closing, and come up. From the side angle, you'll see that the hips are pressed forward. I'm not sitting back with my butt here. I'm pressing my butt under, and my body is dropping straight down. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. That's the plie squat. This exercise is called the horse stance or the horse riding stance, and this is an isometric lower body exercise. Isometric meaning you're taking the posture and you're holding the posture and you're not moving up and down. So set your feet about 1.5 times shoulder width. You're going to place your hands in front of you pushing out, and this is going to serve as a counterbalance. And then you're going to sit back and down, and you're going to hold this position so that the top of your thigh is parallel. From the side angle, you're going to sit back and down, and you're going to hold this position. Initially, you want to start with about 30 seconds, and then you want to work up to where you can hold it for 3 minutes or longer. So this is really going to develop the endurance of the front of your thighs, which is the quadriceps, the back of your thighs, which is the hamstrings, as well as your butt. And simultaneously, it's a very strong contraction with your abdominals. So this is the horse stance, or the horse riding stance. This exercise is called the bob and weave. And this comes from a boxing exercise, which is a way that you're coming underneath a hook punch. So the exercise follows a U-shaped position. You're going to be moving from one leg to another, and your body is tracing this nice round U. So you stand to one side, you're going to squat down, and as you do, you step out, and then you shift, and you come up. So you come down, step out, shift, and up. Down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. Coordinate your breathing so it's inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Same thing from the lateral view. Down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. This develops tremendous endurance in your thighs as well as the butt. Down, up, down, up. That's the bob and weave. The next exercise is called the burning four. And after you've done this, you'll understand why it's called the burning four. The burning four is also an isometric contraction where you're holding each position for a period of time. There's 4 positions. First, I'm going to show you what the positions are. You're going to raise up onto the balls of the feet, just keeping your hands on your hips here. Raise up onto the balls of the feet. The first position is just to drop your hips slightly and hold that position. Now the second position is to drop down 1 inch without planting your foot and hold this position. And then the third position is drop down 1 inch, hold. And the fourth position is to drop down 1 inch to parallel, so your top of your thigh is parallel, and hold the position. Now you're going to come up 1 inch, hold, come up another inch, hold, and come up another inch, hold. Back to the starting position. So when you practice this, you're going to hold each position for a period of time. The first step is to hold each position for 10 seconds. And that looks like this. Feet about hip width, hands on your hips, raise up onto your toes, and sit back, and you're going to hold this position. Notice that my heels stay up off the ground, and you hold this for about 10 seconds. And then from here, you're going to drop your hips down 1 inch, and you're going to hold this position. You have to stay nice and calm, discipline your mind. Drop down 1 inch, hold it, and then you're going to drop down 1 inch to parallel and hold it. So that's the easy part. Now you reverse it. You raise your hips 1 inch and you hold. And then after about 10 seconds, you raise another inch and you hold. And then you raise 1 more inch and you hold. So if you're doing each position for 10 seconds, it's going to be a total of 70 seconds for the entire exercise. Once you're able to do that successfully, then you increase the time limit. So you would move to 12 seconds per position, 15 seconds per position, and so on. The goal eventually is to work to hold each posture for 30 to 60 seconds each. That's the burning 4. This exercise is called the jump quarter squat. And this is a tremendous exercise for developing the lower leg, the calf muscles, as well as the muscles of the feet and ankles. So the exercise here is to stand feet about hip width apart, and then you're going to sit back and down just about a quarter of the way down. And then as you exhale, you're going to stand up but raise all the way up onto the toes. So it's down, up, down, up. So you can see the lateral part of the calf as well as the rear part of the calf is really working hard here. Notice that I'm not pressing my knees forward, I'm sitting my hips back. So it's quarter squat, drive, quarter squat, drive. That's the jump quarter squat. The next exercise is a jump squat. So this is a complete squat with a full jump. So you're going to squat all the way down, and then as you exhale, you're going to jump up high. Inhale, squat down. Exhale, jump up high. So from here, I'm going to come all the way down, and then I'm going to jump, and down, jump, down, jump, down, jump. Notice that I'm using my hands like a pendulum. So as I squat down, my hands come back, and as I jump up, my hands swing forward. Again, inhale down, squat, exhale up, jump. So not only are you working all of the muscles of the lower body, but you're getting a tremendous cardiovascular work at the same time. That's the jump squat. This exercise is called the rocking squat or the rock up squat. Another name for this is sometimes referred to as a deck squat because you're literally going to be hitting the deck here. This is a great exercise for teaching you how to unload the knee and how to load the hips. Oftentimes, when people are squatting, they put way too much stress on the knee. After a while, the knees can become injured or become overstressed and develop sort of a tendinitis type of condition. So the idea here is that you're unloading the knee and loading the hip. Let me show you a few repetitions, and I'm going to take a little time to explain the details. The feet set about hip width apart. You're going to inhale, sit all the way back, rocking back, and then exhale, standing up. Inhale down, exhale up. So notice, as I come back, I squat, and then I fall back, letting the butt hit the ground. And then I rock all the way back onto my shoulders, and my feet kick behind. Now as I'm coming forward, the feet act like a pendulum, where I'm whipping my body forward. At this point, you have to project your upper body. You have to apply force in a forward direction so that you can generate enough momentum and enough power to lift your body up off the ground. So inhale, exhale, and then now my feet are underneath me and I can stand right up. Inhale back down, exhale, up. Inhale down, exhale up. So you're really loading the rear side of your body, the hamstrings, the butt, the lower back, and you're also getting a great cardiovascular training here. So that's the rock up squat. Now we're going to have a series of lunging exercises. A lunge is to stride into something and fold at the same time. So the first variation here is a stationary lunge. First, I want to go over the main teaching points so that you do this properly without injuring yourself. We're going to do this in two phases, the stationary lunge. Phase 1 is you're going to allow the rear knee to come down into the ground. So put one foot forward, the weight's primarily on the front foot, the rear foot will be on the ball of the foot, and then you're going to drop straight down with your hips so that you have your rear knee on the ground, and there's about a 90-degree angle here at the knee, so you have this nice right angle. The front leg is also going to be a nice right angle at the knee and hip. So from here, I'm going to push all my weight onto that front heel, and then I'm going to raise up. I come down, inhale, I come up, exhale. One thing to be aware of is to not let your body fold forward. I have a lunge, but my body has too sharp of an angle. So keep the body upright, push through that front heel and the rear toe. Come up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Same thing here. Place one foot forward, weight on the flat part of the foot, the other foot on the ball of the foot. The knees are pointing forward with both legs, hands on your hip. Come down, inhale, press up through the front heel, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. That's the stationary lunge, version 1, with the rear knee touching down to the floor. Now we're going to do the stationary lunge again, the second version, in which case the rear knee does not touch the floor at all. So instead, from this position, as you lunge down, you're going to make sure that that rear knee stays just above the floor so that you have to really support yourself with the muscles of the hips and the thighs. And come up. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up. This is a particularly effective exercise for strengthening and shaping up the rear side of the body, the butt, and the hamstrings. That's the stationary lunge. The next lunging variation is the step forward lunge. We've already gone over the positioning, so let's go straight into it. Starting with your feet close and on the same line, you're going to step forward with one foot, lunge. Now you push off that front heel and step back. Step forward, step back. Step forward, step back. Inhale down, exhale up. From the side angle, you want to make sure that your step is not too shallow. If I step too shallow, then as I lunge, I'm going to be overextended and I'm going to put too much stress on my knee. So step deep enough so that as you lunge, you have a nice right angle and your body is upright. And then back to center. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up. You can do this one leg at a time, or you can alternate legs with each repetition. That's the step forward lunge. Now you have the step back lunge. So again, you're familiar with the position, but as you step, instead of advancing with the front foot, you're going to retreat with the rear foot. So you step back, and then you push off the front foot and come back to the start position. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Same thing from the side angle. Step back and back to center. Step back, inhale, back to center. Same teaching point here, don't step too shallow. If I step too close, then I'm putting too much stress and I'm going to be unstable and wobbly here. So step deep enough so that as I sink down, I have a nice stable position, and then I push off that front foot. Step back and up. Step back and up. You can switch feet each rep. So that's the step back lunge. The next variation is combining the forward step with the rear step on alternating repetitions. From here, you step forward, lunge, step back, lunge. Step forward, step back. Same thing from the lateral view. Step forward, step back, step forward, step back. You can alternate feet. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. That's the step forward, step back lunge. Now, if you're very comfortable with the various stepping and stationary lunge variations, now we're going to get more dynamic, and you're going to do a jumping lunge. The first variation of the jumping lunge is you're going to stay in place and you're going to keep the same foot forward as you jump up and down. So, advance one foot, get into your lunge position, and then you're going to jump and land. Jump and land. Inhale as you come up. And so on. Okay? So from here, keep the nice right angle with the front and rear leg. Jump lunge. Very dynamic, working the inner thigh as well as the front of the thigh, which is the quadricep muscles. That's the stationary jumping lunge. We're going to do another version of the jumping lunge. This time you're going to switch feet with each repetition. So you want to stay in place, meaning you want to land in basically the same position as where you leave the ground from. You don't want to be moving all around. You want to stay in this basic vertical alignment here. So, one foot forward, one foot back. Now, as you jump, you're going to switch feet and land with the lunge. So jump, switch, switch. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Same thing on the other angle, side angle. Jump, switching lunge. Very dynamic, great cardio work. That's the jump, switch, lunge. Now we're going to have one last variation of the jumping lunge. This is the jump, switch lunge with a kick. So just as in the previous exercise, you're going to lunge down, jump up, and switch feet. However, this time, as you switch feet, you're going to extend the legs forward and back. So you're literally going to kick the leg, and then you're going to bring the leg back and land into the lunge. So not only is this a tremendous cardio exercise, but you're also going to be working your flexibility, and most of all, you're going to be challenging your coordination. Get your position. Now, as you jump and lunge, you're going to switch feet and throw a kick, and then you're going to come back. Same thing. Jump, lunge, switch feet and kick and back. So it's kick and back, kick and back, kick and back, kick and back. Same thing from the lateral view. Get your lunge position, jump switch, and kick. So that's the jump switch lunge with a kick. Now we're going to have a series of lateral lunging. So it's still going to be a lunge, but now you're moving one leg to the side. This is going to put much more stress on the inner thigh of the support leg. So from here, you place one foot, and then you extend the other foot, and you shift all of your weight over the first foot. Hands on your hips. Now from here, as you exhale, you're going to sit down. Use your hip flexor muscles to pull yourself down into this bottom position. If your flexibility is limited, then you're just going to come here. Eventually, you want to learn to pull so that you're all the way down. Notice that my knee stays directly over the toes. I don't allow my knee to come to the inside where I stress my knee. So at no point should you feel any pain in the knee joint. You should feel a lot of work here in the thigh, particularly the inner thigh and the outer hip. So set your foot, extend the other. You're going to come down and up, and down and up, and down and up. Lateral lunge, show you from a different angle. Come down, come up. Come down, I don't shift all the way to this weight, I just extend my support knee. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So that's the lateral lunge. The next variation of the lateral lunge is the up to down lateral shifting lunge. So, you're going to be shifting from one side to the other, and you're going to come up in between each shift, and then go down into the lunge, come up again, and then shift to the other side, come down into the lunge. So start just like the previous exercise. Extend one leg straight, put all your weight on the other leg, hands on your waist. If you have trouble keeping balance, then you can put your hands in front, or even like you're holding onto an imaginary wall here. Okay? So you come down, now you come up, and then you come down. Up, shifting, and down. Up, down. If you have a lot of difficulty going down, then you're going to find it will help you to raise the toes of the extended leg. Like this. This will take some stress off the inner part of your thigh. Come up, plant the foot, shift, come down, raise the toes. Notice that I look towards my extended foot. Same thing from the lateral view. Extend, sink, up, down, up, down, up, down. So that's the up to down lateral shifting lunge. Now we're going to do one more variation of the lateral lunge. This is the most challenging thus far. This is the low lateral lunge. So you're going to stay low throughout the entire lunging sequence, and as you shift, you're not raising up like you did in the previous variation. Extend one leg, shift to the working leg, come down. Now from here, you're going to stay low as you shift across. If you need to, you can even have your hands on the ground here to help with your balance. And notice that my knee stays nicely over my foot. There's no deviation in the position of the knee. It stays pressed out. Lift and come down. Lift Okay? And then you learn to stay really low in this position, and eventually you want to get your body upright as you're doing. So it's really a tremendous exercise for your inner thigh as well as the hip flexibility. I'm going to show you from the lateral view, and I'm going to show you how to work on this if you're having too much difficulty with the range of motion and or with your balance. As you hold on to a firm object here, extend, and then use your hands to help you keep balance so that you're not bent over so much, but you can use your hands to support you so you can stay upright as you're moving from one side to another. And as I mentioned before, it's perfectly okay to raise the heel of the extended leg. But the working leg, the heel should be flat. Okay, you don't want to come up onto the toe here. It puts too much stress on the knee. Keep this heel flat. This heel can raise. Stay low. So that's the low lateral shifting lunge. Now we're going to go into a series of one-leg squatting movements. The first variation here is the one-legged box squat. Just as we did in the very first exercise in the lower body sequence, we're going to use a box or a chair so that you can learn to sit back with your hips confidently so that you can practice the movement without risk of injury. You can improve your confidence, improve your strength, so that later you can move into the more advanced variations. So you get your chair or get your box and place your working leg just in front so that you know when you sit back that the box is right where you want it. If you come too far forward, you're going to miss the box. Okay, so make sure you know where it is. Now, plant your support foot. And the key is we don't want to put so much stress on the knee by bending the knee forward. You want to fix the lower leg and move that hip back like you're sitting in a chair. Okay? Put the other foot in front. You're going to sit back. And then you're going to press through the ground with that heel. Stand up. Sit back. Stand up. Sit back. Stand up. Okay? If you lose balance, simply let this front foot touch the ground. You're still mostly working the support leg here. And then as you get more confident, you can lift this free leg up. So inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up. As you become stronger and more stable, you can use a shorter box or a shorter chair so that you increase the range of motion. That's the one-leg box squat. Now we have another variation of the one-leg squat, and this is called an airborne lunge because your rear leg is going to be up in the air. You're going to use a box or a chair. You're going to set your working leg forward, and then you're going to put the rear leg right on top of the box here. You want to make sure there's enough distance between your legs so that as you squat down, you're not putting too much stress on this knee. So advance the foot forward. And now this is helping you keep balance. You're going to have your hands on your hips. If you have a lot of difficulty with the balance, then keep your hands out to help counterbalance you. So you're going to squat down, just like a lunge position with this foot up in the air. And then you're going to press up. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down. As you exhale, press through the heel. So you really notice that it's working the muscles of your inner thigh, as well as the top of the thigh, the hamstring, and the glute on the support leg. That's the airborne lunge. If you've been working with the box squat variation and the one-leg box squat variations, you should be developing more confidence in your ability to be strong and stable on one leg. So now we're going to be working a little bit deeper, and we're going to combine the rock-up squat with the one-legged squat. So this is called down 2 legs, up 1 leg, rocking squat. You're going to start just like you did with the rock-up squat. You're going to go down with 2 legs. And then you're going to rock back. But then one leg is going to extend and the other leg is going to stay bent. So this extended leg serves as a pendulum to propel you forcefully forward. As you propel forward, this bent leg comes right underneath your hips. And then you're going to rock up into the one-legged squat. Plant your feet down. You're going to sit back and down with 2 legs. Rock back and rock up with 1 leg. So plant down, sit back, up leg. You can switch feet each rep. Put the feet down, down, up. Put the foot down, down, up. Put the foot down, down, up. Show you a few from the front angle. Down 2 legs, up 1 leg. Plant, inhale down, exhale up. Plant, inhale down, exhale up. So that's the down 2 legs, up 1 leg, rock up squat. Now that you've combined the rock-up squat with the one-legged squat, you're getting ever closer to doing a proper one-legged squat. So now we're going to do down 1 leg, up 1 leg, rock-up squat. The position of the hips and everything else is the same. The only thing that's different is now you're standing on 1 leg, so you have a smaller base of support, and it's going to have greater demands on your balance. Plant your feet. Now the working leg is going to shift over to the center line so that working leg is right underneath the navel. Okay, right underneath your belly button. Now you're going to sit back and down, rocking all the way back onto your shoulders. And then as you exhale, you're going to be rocking back up on that same leg. So down and up. Down and up. If you need to, between reps, put your foot down to regain balance, pick it up, and do it again. You can switch legs each time. Same thing from the front angle. Down 1 leg, up 1 leg. Switch, down 1 leg, up 1 leg. So that's the down 1 leg, up 1 leg, rock up squat. Now we have the hanging 1 leg box squat. Now that you've practiced some of the different variations of the rocking squat or the rock up squat, going down 2 legs, up 1 leg, down 1 leg, up 1 leg, now you should have a good idea of how the hips are working and this idea of folding back, hinging at the hips, and then pressing through the heels and extending the hips. So now you're going to do that same motion using a box. I'm going to show you with 3 different size boxes so that you understand how you can progress. We're going to start with a low box here. And you're going to plant your working leg flat. And then you're going to press through the heel, standing all the way straight. Inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to press through the heel and push up. Okay? Inhale, you're just going to squat, keeping the weight on the support leg, sitting back and down, and just let your toe touch without shifting any weight. And then exhale, coming up. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, do not transfer your weight onto this leg. That is not the same movement. Keep all your weight here. I want to show you the same thing from the side angle. So notice the position of the rear leg is behind. I don't want to have this in front because that's going to pull me into a knee forward position that puts too much stress on the knee. So by pointing the toes behind, it causes me to sit back into the butt muscle and into the hamstring. Keep my weight here, drive up. Inhale down, exhale up. Now once you've progressed here, then you're going to do the same thing with a higher platform. A higher platform means that you're going to have to work a little bit harder, go a little bit deeper. So from here, put all your weight on the working leg. Inhale, exhale, push through your heel. Inhale down, keep the weight here. Exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Same thing from the other side. Side angle. Keep the weight on the heel. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then naturally from here, you would eventually go to a high enough box so that your leg is completely hanging free when you're at the top of the movement. And that way all of your weight will be fully supported on the squatting leg. Set your heel. Inhale. Tighten your belly. Exhale. Push through your heel. Inhale as I sit back. Now the box is tall enough that this leg is completely hanging. And then exhale. Pushing up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So that is the hanging one leg box squat. Okay, now you're ready for the actual one leg squat training. We've done a lot of preparation, a lot of variations to prepare your body for the movement, and I've broken it down in different steps so that you can learn how to properly use your hips and how to drive up through that bottom position. So now we're going to put this together into a more advanced variation. This variation is called a crane dip, and it's actually a very traditional martial art type of training to develop speed and power and flexibility as well as balance in your legs and in your lower body. Like a crane, you're going to be standing on one leg. Now visualization is very important here because you need to visualize as if you have a wall that you're holding against. So if you pretend there's a wall here, you're not going to be able to lean. You're keeping balance with the wall. Okay? So the way we do this is you're going to set your front foot and then you're going to raise the other leg and you're going to grab your foot with the fingers on the outside of your foot. Like this. Now you're going to take your free hand and you're going to be pressing firmly against this imaginary wall. From here you're going to extend your leg. If you don't have the flexibility to do this, then you can grab your toes here. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you something to press against with this free leg. So hold here. First grab your foot. Extend this leg here. Hold against the wall. Extend like a crane. And you're going to inhale back and down. And then you're going to exhale, drive up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. I'll show you the same thing from a different angle. Put your support foot. Grab your free leg with the hand on the outside of the foot. And then you're going to hold against this imaginary wall. Extend your leg. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. That's the one leg squat proper or crane dip. Now Now we're going to have another version of the crane dip, and this is the no hands variation. So you're going to take your hands and you're going to press them out against an imaginary wall on each side of your body. So you're really pressing here. Key point is that you don't want to lean back. You want to keep your abdominals slightly engaged so that your upper body stays upright. And the leg that is off the ground, you don't want it to be here. You want to raise your leg up, which requires a lot of strength with your hip flexor as well as your abdominal contraction. So, you're going to put your hands out, hold against the imaginary walls, extend this other leg in front of you, inhale down, exhale up. Side view. Imagine the walls. The stronger you can imagine the walls, the greater your stability is going to be. Extend the free leg. So you should be able to hear my breathing is inhale into the bottom position, press through the heel, exhale as you raise up. That's the no hands crane dip. Now we're going to get into some more advanced variations of the crane dip or one-legged squat. This is a crane dip with a jump switch. So this should only be performed after you've developed a degree of mastery over the basic crane dip and the no hands crane dip. How do you know what mastery is? Well, that you have good form, you're able to do it without causing any damage to your knees, and you should be able to do a minimum of 10 good repetitions per leg before you start attempting these. In all of your practice, whether it's lower body, upper body, midsection, or anything else, your focus should always be on good movement and correct movement. Do not rush through to more advanced variations if you have not developed a good solid form. Okay, sloppiness is not going to help you achieve your goals. You have to develop good control over your body, and then when you have a good mastery of the basics, you can begin to practice these more advanced variations. So, you're going to go down into the no hands crane dip, and then you're going to come up, and at the top, you're going to jump and switch feet. Do it on the other leg, come up, jump and switch feet. It looks like this. Come down, come up, jump. Come down, come up, jump. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? So that's the no hands crane dip with a jump switch. We have another variation of the crane dip. This is more advanced still. Now you have a crane dip with a jump kick switch. So as you did in the previous variation, you go down on one leg, you come up, and then you jump and switch feet, go down on the other leg, come up, and repeat. This time, as you switch feet, you're going to throw a kick with the front leg. Okay? So make sure you're very competent with all the basic variations, and make sure you're very competent with the jump switch before you start adding the kick in. With that in mind, you're going to begin. So you're going to come down, go into the crane dip, come up, switch feet, kick in the air, and then go down on the other leg. It looks like this. Okay? So that's a crane dip with a jump kick switch. Now I'm going to lead you through some more explosive movements for developing lower body power. Keep in mind that we have a very extensive collection of various exercises here. And not necessarily all exercises are going to be appropriate for you. Some exercises may be too simple. Other exercises may be too advanced. So it's very important that you're honest with yourself and that you don't move too fast and you don't put yourself at a risk for serious injury by doing something that's far too advanced for your current level. Because I don't know exactly what your level is, you have to use good discretion when selecting what the best exercises are for you. So use this as a resource so that you can study the movements and the correct mechanics, but don't feel that you have to try any of the exercises before you're ready. Okay? So with that in mind, we're going to continue with some more explosive movements. The first exercise in this sequence is a box jump. And you're going to jump onto a box. You can very readily use a staircase, and the staircase is very convenient because as you progress, you can jump to a higher and a higher stair. However, this type of box, which is called a plyo box or a plyometric box, is very convenient because it enables you to jump up without having to also jump forward. Or you only jump forward a little bit. Okay? So from here, you're going to sit back into a quarter squat, driving your arms back, and then you're going to propel your arms forward as you jump up onto the box. So sit back, jump, and stand up. And then you're going to step down. And again, sit back, jump, and step down. One more time. Sit back, jump, step up, and step down. As you progress, you'll switch to a taller and a taller box. This is going to develop very explosive leg power for increased running, increased jumping ability. The next exercise also is going to be using a box or a staircase, and this is a box drop. A box drop is actually much more explosive and is putting a lot more stress on your legs. So you want to make sure that your squatting form is very good and very safe before you start adding the box jump or the box drop. So what I'm looking for is that when you're in the squat position, your knees are unloaded and your hips are loaded. We don't want to be in a position where you're landing with your knees way too far forward, because when you incorporate the added momentum of dropping down, you could really put too much shearing forces on your knee. So again, this is an advanced exercise. Use discretion before you start incorporating it. Just like any other exercise, you want to use a gradual progression, which means start with a lower box, and when your form is good, you can gradually increase the height of the box to where eventually you're able to drop off a very high surface without risk of injury. The taller the box, the more intense the movement. The more intense the movement, the less repetitions you want to do. So start standing up. And then you're going to just step forward and drop down and land in a nice position so your hips are loaded, your hamstrings are loaded, and your arms are slightly behind. Okay? Come back up onto the box. Step forward and stick the position. One more time. Step forward. Stick the position. So that's the box drop. The next box variation is the rear box drop. So now you're going to also step off the box, but you're going to be facing backwards as you drop down. So come up. You have to step back and land. Notice the position, the hips are loaded, your arms are behind, and you're ready to jump forward again. Step back and stick the landing. Stick the landing means as you land, don't be moving around. Land and be stationary. Step back, box drop. That's the rear box drop. The next exercise is using the box also. Now you're combining box jumping with box dropping. So the first exercise is you're going to jump up facing forward, jump back facing rear, and you're going to repeat up, down, up, down. That looks like this. Load, jump up, jump back, jump up, jump back, jump up, jump back, up, back, up, back. So that's the box jump and drop. Continuing with the box sequence, you're going to do a box drop and box jump. However, this time you're going to reverse the direction. So you're going to be jumping down forward, jumping up rearward. Now, there's definitely a higher risk component. Okay? Like most things in life, low risk, low reward, high risk, high reward. So again, you have to be honest with your own assessment. Where are you now? If this is too advanced for you, then observe and study the movement, but don't feel like you have to rush into trying it. Okay, this is something that you're going to incorporate once you feel like you have a very good understanding of the basic squatting mechanics and the basic one-legged squatting mechanics as well as the lunging. Now you can start experimenting with some of the more dynamic box jumping and box dropping. Be careful to use a box that is not too high because you don't have as much power when you're jumping backwards, and also you're not going to be able to see behind you. So you have to be very confident that the box is low enough that you can jump over and clear the box with your feet so you don't have any messy accidents tripping over the box. So start from the top position. You're going to jump forward into the box. You're going to drop forward into the box drop. Load. Now you're going to jump back and up and down and up and down and up, down and up. So that's the box drop and box jump combined. Now we're going to continue with the box training. This is going to be even more advanced because now we're going to be working on one leg. So, we're going into the one leg box jump. Make sure that you select a box or a stair that is not too high that you're going to risk tripping or hitting your face on something. So make sure it's a box that you know that you can confidently clear. You can always get a bigger box later. So practice on a lower box, make sure you have the form, and then start adding height to the box. Okay? So you're going to raise one leg up, you're going to sit back like you're sitting in a chair, and then you're going to drive up onto one leg. And then you're going to stand up, and you're going to step down. Sit back, jump up, stand up, and step down. Again, sit back and press. And step down. Okay? So very explosive, one leg box jump. Now the next exercise is very dynamic. This is a one leg box drop. The dropping is going to put a lot more stress on the lower leg than the jumping. And it's very important to be, again, I can't emphasize enough, you have to be completely honest with your self-assessment. Where are you? You should not even attempt these one-legged box exercises unless you have thoroughly mastered all of the one-legged squat variations. So this is very much an exercise for a more advanced athlete, for a very fit person. Okay? I'm showing you here because some of you are ready for the challenge. Some of you may not be. So don't feel you have to do everything on this DVD. Just select an exercise that you know you're capable of doing. As I've mentioned before, the way to progress is to start with a very low box and then get your body used to the stress, and then you can gradually increase and increase with a higher box. From here, I don't recommend that you jump forward. The reason being is because if you're coming forward on one leg, you have the shearing force where your knee is going to want to drive forward, and you're going to put too much stress on this ligament here, the patella ligament, which comes right underneath your kneecap. So instead, you're going to jump laterally so that you stabilize, and when you land, you're going to land into your rear side here, your butt and your hamstring. So from here, you're going to jump and land. Okay? Back up. Jump and land. Okay? Notice that I'm jumping from the inside. It's much easier to control, and you're going to be able to control your balance much easier than if you're jumping to the outside where there's a risk of your knee moving to the side. So, jump so that the support leg is moving towards the free leg. Okay? From here, and back up, and jump, control, and back up. Okay? You're not going to do very many repetitions here, no more than 5 at a time. Okay? So that's the one leg box drop. Now we're going to be doing a very dynamic lateral movement. This is alternating lateral box jump. So, you want to take a box that when you have your foot on it, your hip and knee is at 90 degrees. You don't want it so high that you have a really sharp angle at the hip, because that's going to cut your power source off. You want to be able to have half extension, half flexion, so that you have enough drive to fully extend the hip at the top of the movement. Stand lateral to the box and put one foot up. Now you're going to shift all your weight onto this support foot. You're going to push up, switch feet, land on the box with the other foot, land on the floor with this foot. Time this with your hands so that your hands are coming up as you jump and back as you land. I'll do a few slowly. And more explosive. Okay? Show you the same thing from the lateral angle. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. That's the alternating lateral box jump. Now we have the one leg hanging calf raise. This is similar to the one leg hanging box squat done with the one-legged squat. However, this time we're really emphasizing the muscles of the calf. So the difference is that as you come down, all your weight is going to transfer onto the support foot, and then as you come up, you're driving up with your hands and raising onto the ball of the foot. Inhale down, exhale up. Looks like this. Raise up onto the toe. Same thing from the other side angle. Transfer all your weight onto this leg. Push up onto the ball of the foot. So raise the heel and down. Very dynamic movement for the calf. You should feel that not only in the calf muscle, but all the way down into the heel and the Achilles tendon. So that's the hanging one leg calf raise. Now we're going to do one more exercise with the boxes. And this is another variation of the crane dip or the one-legged squat. This is the most advanced variation of all. The only way to make this more advanced is to use a higher box or to weight the body with something like kettlebells or even a weighted vest. However, just by using a higher box, you're going to put all the stress that you could ever want, develop extreme power in your legs. It's going to be very effective for improving your power in your kicking, your jumping, your running, your squatting, and just everyday life. Most of the movements in daily life involve a shifting from one foot to another. Very rarely are you going to be like this. You might be like this momentarily, but you're going to be putting your weight on one foot, on the other foot, especially in athletics where you're moving around. You're always going to have your weight on one leg. So the ability to be very strong and explosive on one leg is invaluable for every type of activity you can imagine. I'm going to show you some progressions using different size boxes. Okay? Again, I'm going to overemphasize this point because it's very important. My job is to help you, not to encourage you to hurt yourself. So make sure that you've fully mastered all of the one-legged variations before you try this most advanced variation. Get very comfortable with the one-legged box squats, with the one-legged rock-up squat variations, and with the one-legged regular crane dips, and then the one-legged box jumps and box drops. This exercise is going to put all of that strength and ability together into one movement. Sometimes people will see an advanced movement like this and assume that it's going to be damaging. There's no such thing purely as something as a good exercise or a bad exercise. The key is whether you're doing it correctly or not. And as I mentioned before, the lower the risk, the lower the reward. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. So the important point is that you have to do everything exactly properly in order to assure safety and assure progress. If you're doing something wrong, then of course you're going to injure yourself. But you can injure yourself with even a simple movement if you're doing it incorrectly. That's why I emphasize really perfecting the basic variations of the one-legged squat before you try this more advanced variation. Starting with the low box, you're going to stand up, and then you're going to learn to drop down and come all the way down into a one-legged squat. And then you're going to learn to spring up onto that box. So coming down, coming up. Okay? If that doesn't give you any problems, use a slightly higher platform. It's greater momentum, greater impact. Come down, come up. Okay? And now I'll show you one more variation with an even taller box. You want to make sure that you have a stable platform and that you know exactly where you are in space so that you don't miss the target and you don't trip over the target. Inhale down, exhale up. So that's the advanced one-legged crane dip jump done with a box jump and a box drop. This next exercise is called step-ups, and this is a much easier way for developing the muscles of the butt and the back of the legs as well as the thighs as comparison to the one-legged squat. So if the one-legged squat is a little bit too much for you to try right now, you're going to do the step-ups in their place. You grab a box so that you have to reach up, and then you're going to press through, and as you exhale, you step all the way up, and then step your other foot up, and then you step down with the same foot that initiated, and step down. Now you switch feet. Up, up, down, down. Switch. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. That's step-ups. Now you have lateral step-ups. So you're going to put one foot in the center of your box. You're going to push up off this foot. Put your other foot here. Step down. Step up. Switch feet. Step down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. That's lateral step-ups. Now we're going to be doing a series of very dynamic movements for the lower body called duck walking. The duck walking is going to develop a very springy quality in the legs and elasticity that is going to be very beneficial for not only toning and strengthening the legs, but for developing greater spring for jumping. This is called duck walking. The first exercise is going to be forward and rear duck walking. You're going to squat down, and you want your knees and your toes pointing forward. The hands are going to be on the waist, and make sure that you pick the feet up and not drag the feet. So pick up the foot with each step. And then backwards. If you're having trouble with your balance moving backwards, simply place your hands in front to serve as a counterbalance. And again, pick the feet up. So forward duck walk, backward duck walk. Use your hands for balance if necessary. So that's the forward and rear duck walking. Now we're going to continue with the duck walking exercise, and this time you're going to be adding a rotation. So this incorporates a greater balance demand, and also you have to have greater awareness of the space around you because you're spinning in a circle. So in effect, this is going to combine the forward and the backward, but you're going to be turning as you do this. And you go back the other direction, reverse the spin. So you do clockwise and counterclockwise. Rotating duck walks. The next exercise is duck hopping. Same position as with the duck walk, except this time your feet are literally leaving the ground and landing. It's very important that you stay very soft so that you don't have a heavy impact, but you have nice and controlled impact. Point your toes forward, knees forward, and hop. And you're going to hop backwards. Again, you can use your hands as a counterbalance. Forward hopping, nice and controlled, and backward hopping. That's forward and rear duck hopping. The next exercise is going to be rotating duck hops. Come down, hop, and spin as you're hopping. It's a great exercise for toning and strengthening your legs. And spin the other direction. So you go clockwise and counterclockwise. Rotating duck hops. This exercise is very effective for developing lower body strength, and it's a spiraling type of movement. So your body is forming a coil, and this type of movement is creating a very springy quality, like you're winding a spring or a shock absorber. It's called dragon stance. And you're going to put one foot forward and one foot back, and then the front foot is going to be twisted out. It's important that the twist occurs at the hip and not in the knee. So don't put your weight on the foot and try to rotate where the knee absorbs the force. Put your weight back and rotate on the heel so that the hip is absorbing the force. So turn the front foot out, shift forward. Now the rear foot is on the ball of the foot, and the rear knee is tucked behind the front knee. It's not lateral, it's just behind. And then you're going to sink down, and as you sink down, your rear shoulder is turning forward. So I have my right foot forward, I'm going to turn my left shoulder forward, and I'm going to sink. So you can see that I have a nice right angle here. My rear knee is behind. I'm going to show you on the other side here. Put my front foot to the outside, place my rear foot on the ball of the foot, and tuck my rear knee in so that I squeeze my inner thighs together. Now my rear shoulder twists, and I hold this position. This is something that you're going to hold for time. And on the other side, turn the front foot out. The rear foot's on the ball of the foot. Tuck the rear knee in, touching the inner thighs together. Turn the rear shoulder forward and sink. You'll notice that the rear knee is above the floor and not touching, and it's also not touching the front leg. There's a space between the two legs. This is called the dragon stance position, and it's going to be very challenging in developing great endurance and springiness in your lower leg. The next lower body exercise is called dragon twisting. So you just learned how to do the dragon position or the dragon stance. Now you're going to move from one side of your body to the other side, rotating right to left. The feet start forward at about hip width, hands at your waist. Now you're going to rotate one foot, but you always take your weight off the leg before you rotate. So I shift, and then I turn my foot by rotating on the heel, and the rotation occurs in the hip. I turn my foot all the way to the opposite side, place my weight forward. Now I raise the rear heel, and I pivot on the ball of the foot, and I sink down, turning my rear shoulder forward. I raise, sit back, turn the front foot in, shift, turn the foot out, shift, and pivot. Up, plant, turn, shift, pivot. Inhale as you raise, exhale as you sink. So you notice that I'm very precise with each movement of the foot so that I don't stress my knee at any point. Show you from a side angle. I take my weight off the leg before I pivot it. Then I pivot. Now I shift forward and I pivot my rear. Raise up, sit back, turn the foot in, sit, turn the foot out, and pivot. And I'll show you a different angle here. Shift, turn the foot out, shift forward, pivot the rear foot in as I sink. Raise, sit back, turn the foot in, shift, turn the foot out, shift forward, and pivot. And again, from the front angle. This is dragon twisting. At no point should you feel any stress in the knee joint, but you should feel tremendous work on the inner and the outer thigh. Dragon twisting. The next exercise is taking the dragon stance position and moving in a line in a walking scenario. So, from here, we're going to walk in one direction. If you have a line in the middle of the floor, you're going to stay on that line like you're walking on a balance beam. So put one foot forward, turned out. The rear foot is on the ball of the foot. Now sink so that your rear knee tucks or your thighs come together. And then you swing the rear foot forward with your foot turned out, plant, and sink. Up, down, up, down. You can do a dragon twist when you run out of room, and now you're facing the other direction. So sink, come up and down, up and down, up and down, twist the other direction, dragon walking. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. That's the dragon walking exercise. We have one more exercise in the dragon series, and this is called dragon jumping. So it's similar to the jumping lunge that you did earlier, except instead of having the toes and the knees pointing forward, you're twisting the front foot out. So you take the dragon position, you turn the foot out, hands on your hips, the rear foot is on the ball of the foot, you're going to sink down, and then you're going to jump up, and you're going to switch feet and land. Jump and switch. Try to land softly. From the side view, front foot turned out, rear knee turned in, jump and switch, jump and switch. Tremendous work for the entire thigh, the front, the outside, the inside, and the rear. This is the dragon jumping. Now we're getting into a dynamic lunge series. We've already covered the exact position for the lunges in detail. So now we're going to do the same position, but you're going to be moving forward in a walking fashion. Hands are going to be on the waist. You're going to raise one leg up high, raise the knee, step out, and lunge. Make sure that your hips are slightly in front of your shoulders. Do not be like this. And then step back to hip width. And same thing, other side. Lunge. Step up. Lunge. Step up. Same thing on the other side. So you're working the entire lower leg. You're also working the thigh, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the glutes. That's the forward walking lunge. Now we're going to continue with the walking lunge, except now you're going to be moving backward. It's very important for well-rounded athleticism and well-rounded fitness that you learn to train your body at different angles. Not always moving forward, but learning how to move to the side, learning how to move backwards, learning how to rotate. So you're going to stand, hands at the waist, looking forward, and now you're going to reach your knee up high and reach back, placing the toe down, and then sinking into a lunge position. Now you're going to push off the front foot, come back to hip width, and then switch feet. Raise, come back on the ball of the foot, sink, push off the front foot. Raise, sink, push off the front foot. We'll do the same thing going the other direction. Eyes forward, raise, place the toe, sink. Notice that my hips are in front of my shoulders, my body is upright. Push off the front foot. Switch feet, raise, find the ground with your toe, sink, push off the front foot. Raise, sink, and come back to hip position. So that's the rear walking lunge. The next exercise is a forward walking lunge, only this time you're not going to step back to center each time, you're going to step through with each step. So this is going to be a greater challenge to your balance because you're not pausing at the center. You're going from one straight into the next. So a forward walking lunge with the step through. Raise, come out. Now, again, make sure your hips are in front of your shoulders. Now you're going to push off your front foot and stride through and stride through. Step out, step through, so that's the forward walking lunge with a step through. Now we have the rear walking lunge with a step through. Again, you're not looking back, you're using the sensitivity of your foot placement to tell you where you are in space. Step back and then step through without pausing at center. So raise, reach out, find the ground with your toe, come into the lunge. Now push off the front foot, reach back, reach back. Same thing the other direction. Raise, reach back, take deep steps, rear walking lunge with a step through. Now we have one more variation of the walking lunge. We're going to be moving forward, although this time you're going to stay on the low line. That means when you step into the lunge, you stay in that low position and you transition without raising your body. So you just want to have enough clearance so that your rear leg clears the ground without dragging. But don't raise up high enough that you take the bend out of your legs. So this is very challenging. It requires a very strong and flexible lower body. Step out. Now you're going to stay low as you come through. Stay low as you come through. Same thing, moving the other direction. Step out into the lunge. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. So that's a forward walking lunge, staying on the low line. Now we're going to do the same exercise as previous. You're going to do the low line walking lunge, this time moving backwards. So just as in the previous exercise, you do not raise up out of your stance each time, you stay low. You can use an imagery as if you have a cement ceiling just 4 inches above your head, so that if you come up even a little, you're going to bang your head on that ceiling. So you have to stay low and stay under that surface above your head. You're going to step out. Even though I'm stepping back, I don't want my body coming back. I want to have my abdominals tight so that I still have my force moving forward even though my legs are retreating. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Same thing on the other side. Step here and stay low. So that's the rear walking lunge done on the low line. Now we're going to do jumping lunges staying on the low line. What that means is once you come down into the lunge, you stay low and switch feet. So switch feet and lunge and lunge. Same thing from the side angle. Good lunge position, 90 degrees here, 90 degrees with the rear leg, stay low and switch. So you're not only working your leg muscles, but you're working your cardio at the same time. So that's the low line jump lunges. Now we're going to continue developing the leg power in a low stance. This is called low lateral shuffle. So you take a low stance, like the horse riding position we did earlier, and then the lead foot is going to turn out slightly so that you open your hip and protect your knee. You don't want to be in a situation where you step and your knee comes sideways and injure your knee. So you open the hip so that if you take a deep step, your knee stays over your foot. Keep your hips low and let your arms swing and stay low. Just let your arms swing. And then you're going to go the other direction, turn the lead foot out. Don't let your hips come up. Don't be lazy like this. Stay down low. Pick the feet up. Don't drag the feet. And the other side. This is a killer exercise for developing endurance and springiness in your leg muscles. That's the low lateral shuffle. This exercise is going to work your lateral mobility. This is called a lateral shuffle with an explosive change. And when you're moving laterally and you change, you have to sink your weight, push off this foot, and then move in the other direction. So you don't want to have your body upright when you try to change. You're going to lose balance. You have to sink and push. So from here, lateral shuffle, move across, change, move across. And then as you get more comfortable, you go a little faster. So that's the low lateral shuffle with an explosive change.